nonprofit seeks default judgment after Fani Willis withholds public records related to Jack Smith and the J6 committee. Uh, just defies the judgment. She's supposed to give up this information. She's not. She refusing to do so. I don't know how she's getting away with this. This just shows the lawlessness of her. So you can best believe that everything she's trying to go after Trump with has nothing to do with the law, because everything she's doing, I mean, this just goes to show her character on top of everything else. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. All right, so let's talk about this news here. Now this comes from the Liberty Daily, by way of the Epic Times. Naveen Athrapuli, and she reports that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis failed to answer a public records lawsuit from activist foundation Judicial Watch, triggering the organization to file a motion seeking a ruling in its favor by default. And I have to say that Judicial Watch is doing great work. They're definitely trying to keep the government honest. The motion was filed after Ms. Willis did not respond to a lawsuit seeking certain records. The documents were related to Special Counsel Jack Smith and the January 6th committee. Judicial Watch asked for a default judgment in the motion. Quote, "I think this is the first time in Judicial Watch's 30 years that a government official failed to answer an open records lawsuit in court," said Judicial Watch President Tom Fenton. Now, mind you, they were getting stuff from presidents. Judicial Watch would get stuff from special counsels. Judicial Watch, I mean, they get stuff from executive branch, everything from high up in the government. They would get information from over the past 30 years, and they have never not got a record through going through the courts, except for Fani Willis. Again, this speaks to her character. What is she hiding? Why is she hiding it? I mean, this just shows how much of an evil person she is. Everything she touches is just wrong and evil and illegal. It's just wrong. Everything from her personal life to her job as a district attorney. But, quote, "This further shows Ms. Willis has something to hide about her collusion with the Biden administration and Nancy Pelosi's Congress or her unprecedented and uncompromised Get Trump prosecution." I totally agree. Ms. Willis's case charges President Trump and over a dozen co-defendants with allegedly attempting illegally to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential race in Fulton County. On May 5th, Judicial Watch filed a lawsuit against Ms. Willis and Fulton County, Georgia, seeking to make the defendants comply with the Georgia Open Records Act. It's the law. You have to release this information, and she's not doing it. And the lawsuit was filed after Judicial Watch had requested the county back on August 22nd, 2023, to provide certain documents. The county acknowledged receipt of the request the same day. So they got the request, they just refused it. The request sought all documents and communications, A, related to Special Counsel Jack Smith or any employees in his office, and B, sent or received, excuse me, from the House J6 committee or, excuse me, or any of its employees. On August 23rd, Judicial Watch received an email from the county confirming that the district attorney, quote, "is in receipt of your open records request." Later on that same day, the county sent a second email stating, quote, "After carefully reviewing your request, we do not have the responsive records." Plaintiff has since learned that the county's representation about not having the records responsive to the request is likely false, Judicial Watch said in the lawsuit. So they're lying. They're lying. The court is lying. They're hiding something. This is not right. I mean, this is horrible. Again, it goes to show to her character that she's as one of the highest people in charge with the law of that country, and she's doing these illegal things, and she's supposed to be held to a higher standard. Look at everything that she's doing. Fani Willis is just, again, evil woman. Well, the organization pointed out that on December 17th, 2021, Ms. Willis sent a letter to January 6th Committee Chairman Benny G. Thompson, Democrat, Mississippi, requesting access to relevant records crucial to her investigation into illegal attempts to interfere in the 2020 election in Georgia. Quote, those records include but are not limited to recordings and transcripts of witness interviews and depositions, electronic and print records of communications, and records of travel, the December 17th letter stated. Ms. Willis also suggested dates when she and her staff could travel to Washington, D.C. to meet with the committee staff. The lawsuit cited news reports and other records indicating that Ms. Willis's office traveled to Washington and met with J6 committee staffers. Accordingly, despite its representation to the plaintiff that it's possessed no records responsive to the request on information on behalf of the county, and Willis possessed such records but have failed to produce them, the lawsuit stated. So there's proof that there's records. She's lying about those records. And no point did defendants represent to plaintiff that any records it possessed were exempt from production under the Open Records Act. The organization asked the court to declare that the defendants violated the Open Records Act and order them to submit the requested records. So yeah, it goes on from here, but it's not right what's going on. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read the rest of this. The motion GOB inquiry, Judicial Watch filed an affidavit of service to Ms. Willis on March 13th, notifying her of the lawsuit on May 6th. The organization sought a default judgment in the motion submitted to Supreme Court of Fulton County. Defendants has not filed an answer, and no answer has been served upon plaintiff, the motion said. Defendant's answer was due 30 days after service or April 10th, 2024. The case automatically became in default when an answer was not filed. So they're just basically explaining what happened here. The Epic Time reached out to Fulton County for comment, and there have been attempts to disqualify Ms. Willis from the case. I mean, look at all of these things that got going on against her. How are they still keeping her in charge of running this case? They've been showing how corrupt she is, been showing how evil she is, and she's still on the case. This makes absolutely no sense. But there have been attempts to disqualify Ms. Willis from the case after allegations that she had a romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Following a court ruling, Mr. Wade stepped down, but she didn't go anywhere from the post. Ms. Willis continued with her case against the former president. On March 29th, President Trump's attorney appealed the decision to allow Ms. Willis to continue handling the case. Ms. Willis asked the court to dismiss President Trump's appeal. A ruling on the appeal is due to be made by May 13th. I mean, we got new information here that she's defying records requests, which is illegal, and she keep doing these things, and they continue. Again, I don't understand why they continue to allow her to be on this case. This whole thing is corrupt. We know what's going on here, but leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.